Good afternoon, traders. This is AJ of Awesomecalls Trading. I am the moderator, the head moderator in the equity room, and we have obviously two chat rooms going in Awesomecalls Trading. We have a great option room, and we have some amazing moderators in there. And currently, we have about 12 moderators total in both combined chat rooms. This is the equity side of it. So I want to share with you some ideas that we traded. Primarily what we try to do is set up traders in the morning when they walk in to make quick money, fast, efficient, so they don't have to sit on the computer all day. We have a lot of part-time traders that come in early in the morning, want to make their money, and then go to work in the afternoon. And it's really gratifying when they can make $200, $300, $400, $500 to their added paychecks. Then we have other ones, traders that come in and just want to pick up a swing trade. We have some big short sellers that come in that want to just pound these small cap stocks and take them back down to earth. But overall, we trade pretty much everything in the room. So I'm going to go over and every morning what I do. I get up at 4 o'clock every morning. I'm on the West Coast, Beverly Hills, Bel Air, California. And so I'm up every morning at 4 a.m. and I start plotting ideas and thoughts. I start researching, reading earnings reports, analyst reports through all my scans that I have. And then I have about 30 or 40 ideas written down with each thought next to it. And from there, I will begin finalizing what I think. And what I look for is range. Range is really important in day trading because it gives traders the ability, even if they miss the initial entry, they can still score on it and get a point, point and a half, 2 points on the trade. And range is really, really important for me as a trader because even if I get in late, like a Netflix, and I think it's going to go from 330 to 360, I can get in there anytime between 330, 340, 345 and still make 2 or 3 points to the upside. So range is really important. And today we had some really nice range plays to start our Monday. And I'm going to go over them with you. So here's what our notes look like in the morning. Everything is done pre-market. I usually do about 10, and then I add about 2. Today's we started with DVAC, NetDay, CLGN, Momo, BZUN, and on and on and on. So this morning we had some really nice setups today. The Chinese stocks were all gapping up across the board, and I love when they do that because I felt the market was it was green in the morning by about 80 points, and typically that doesn't hold. And so what I look for is I was kind of anticipating the market would turn red, and by doing that, by turning red, it would bring down all these gap ups right back down. And we're talking BABA, BIDU, BZUN, Momo, EDU. And so I'm going to kind of go through each one, how we set each trade up. So on the screen, you'll see the day before, and I'm going to start with 2 trades that we overnighted on Friday. So I wanted to have these on screen for you so you can start and show you how we started our day. YNDX and Netflix. The YNDX was getting sold off a tremendous amount on Friday. I mean, it was just getting dumped from 35 down to 25. So traders were asking me, can I buy YNDX? And I said, yes, I'm sure they'll come out with a letter. I wouldn't size in too much, quarter to 8th position, at least start, have room to come down. The way the stock was running, 25 and under was definitely in place. When we were staring at it at 26, 27, we were telling traders, expect a 25 on the pullback. And a lot of traders in the room ended up taking around a 26.50 average. Some are at 27. I don't know anybody that got that full 25, but I think the average in the chat room was probably 26, 27. And also Netflix was having a sell-off. I think it was determined or somebody must have put out the idea that they were going to do something on their warrants and bonds and whatever. Anyway, the stock had just collapsed all day. So what we did, we started picking it up down here, adding here, here, and here, and we were going to play the gap up to 340. We ended up getting 337, as you can see in pre-market. I did sell a big chunk at 337 for a start of my paycheck, and as it came down, I got rid of the rest before it collapsed. And if you did get the 320 area on the bounce, you were able to get 15, 14, 15 points on the trade. So it turned out to be nice. YNDX gapped up, put out a statement, and the stock ran all the way to 30.50. So that was another 5-point trade right at the open. We were even suggesting right when the market opened to sell right above 30, and was able to do that. You can see all the market orders that were triggered off right here. Really great 2 overnight plays. And that, a lot of traders come in, they won't even, some of them do, they won't even trade all day, and they'll just ask any swings for overnights because they know that we're pretty much 90% accurate or on point. And sure enough, we delivered Yandex and Netflix. Now, I've got orders in at Fidelity and TD, Ameritrade, at 320 level. If it happens to pull below or pull down and I'm going to sell off, I'm a definite buyer. Yandex, we're not going to buy. No reason to take that anymore unless it hits 25 and under, or 25 spot. Okay, so those 2 trades were really good. And then we started with a couple really heavy, big stocks, BIDU and BABA. These are, I don't trade BABA too often in the room, but when I got a stock that closed at 143 and it's gapping 148 on BABA, that is a short for me. I can't think any other thing other than pop at the open to 140.50 and then just slam it down. And BIDU, of course, everyone knows in Awesomecalls and on Twitter and in the option room, AJ loves BIDU on any gap up. And I love to short the gap. So these 2 calls were pretty predictable. I want you to listen to how I basically wrote them this morning. I said BIDU, item number 8. I was very clear on it. I said I would take some short at 148, room to 150. I'm sorry, on Alibaba. Take some short at 148, room to 150 at the open. Take it down to 144. That was the goal. So if you look how the stock opened, if you took short at 148, added to 150, as I said, you had a 149 average, pulled it right back down to 146. I wanted 144, but it did pay the bills, and everyone in the room got it probably 2 to 3 points on the downside. Beautiful trade. Well done. BIDU, we did a little bit different. We wanted to take 197 short. We told the chat room, look for 199, and then pull it down to about 193. Now, I want you to keep in mind, as you're reading these and seeing how they're put together, these were done way before the market even opened. So based on just a few little lines here, a prediction was made where the stock would go, where it would pop to, and where it would come down to. Just on looking at these three of these little dots right here, I was able to determine how to trade the stock. So basically, here's the, if you go into the short, I said go short at 197, room to 199. So it gives you time to take a position, add on any pop, scale in short, take it down to 193. Stock ended up 194.70. It allows a trader to make 2 to 3 points to downside, 250 shares, $700, $750. Same with Alibaba, 250 shares, short, and came down 4 points, so that would have been paid $1,000. So nice opportunities. Option traders will come in, they'll just buy the puts, and equity traders will use, obviously, the equity side with their margin accounts. Okay, so let's write that down, BIDU and BABA. Now, I got a lot of traders that, some of them don't have the larger accounts, so they can't short BABA and BIDU with size. So what I do is I compensate. I start to look for stocks with lower prices. So I go to Momo, and I go to, I found the chat room, Momo and BZUN. And these two, as you can see, the same chart patterns, both sell-offs on Friday, but a massive gap up today. So now you have to anticipate shorts in here, and you also have to anticipate a ton of people buying the stock that want to cash out. So the first thing that's going to happen on both these stocks, you're going to get a squeeze at the open. Why? Because you have short sellers in here thinking the stock's going to go even lower on Monday or Tuesday. So they're betting on the idea, which to me in all fairness, I think it's the most craziest thing in the world. When you see a Momo go from 34 to 30 and you think you're going to get 27 on Monday, you have to be crazy. You don't get a move like this, a pull like this, without getting a short covering squeeze, especially assuming that the market would gap up on Monday, which we all thought. I did personally. I thought it would gap up. I thought we had a really big sell-off on Friday, and I figured, oh, I'm going to play the Netflix. I'm going to gap it up and sell it at around 340, and I got 337. So I was pretty much right on point on that to guide traders into making decisions what they wanted to do. And for me, this would have been ridiculous to continue shorting the stock. And so what I did is I found the stock and I said, okay, it's gapping up here and it's gapping up here. So my first thought was, and I'll show it to you, and I put the thoughts in writing because that's what we do. Everything is transparent in the room. And we really try to guide traders into money. So let's take BZUN. Let's start with this one. This one I said, BZUN, as you could see, I said, take short at 42. Starter, give it room to add at the open, and sell off the stock to 40. Okay. So if you followed the rules on BZUN, you took 42, added at 43, you had a 42.50, stock came down to 41 and pretty much bounced there. I wanted 40. I have to be honest, that's what I wanted, but I'm okay. It still delivered the 50 cents to $1 to everyone in the chat room. Momo, I think my thoughts were pretty much very similar, and I offered this one at 32.50 with room to add at the open to 34 and take the stock down to 30.75. So let's take a look how that one turned out. So if you came in the room, you started at 33, right? $33 here, room to add at the open. It popped to 34, had an average of 33.50. Took it down. I wanted 30.75. Stock ended up delivering double bottom at 31.60. So it still gave plenty of opportunity, 2 points on the trade. So at the very minimum, even if you got in late or you took the 33s or 32s, you still made 50 cents to $1 on the trade. Another great trade that I found a good setup to was EDU. EDU and BZUN and Momo. EDU is one of my favorite stocks to short. I love, love, love EDU. And whenever I get a gap up on this stock, it is immediately a short. It's like this EDU, if you know me about BIDU, EDU gapped up is like BIDU to me. It is not, just write that down. It is BIDU all over the place. So on this particular stock, I told everyone take the stock short at 65. I think I said 65. Where is it? Where is it? EDU. There it is. Take short at 64 with room to add to 66 at the open. Take it down to 61.75. So let's walk it through. Okay. Okay, so again, I said 64 at the open. Okay. So I wanted 64 short, room to 66, which would have gave you a 66, 65.50, pretty much average, somewhere around there. And it pulled, I wanted 61.75, and the stock delivered $62.60. So I missed about 80 cents, but that was a really wonderful trade, 3 to 4 points. Just really done. Next stock that I found was a stock called Hasbro. They are a toy manufacturer, and I love Hasbro on weakness. And my first thought on Hasbro was that the stock would actually be a long on this stock. And the reason is historically, I've been trading Hasbro for probably the last 10 years, 12 years. And the stock has bitten me many, many times over the years, and I have learned the proper way to trade the stock now. And I'm very pretty much on point. This one, I really just said long at 90, take it to 95. That was the call. I mean, I'm not talking about, I never even mentioned short to stock. Buy at 90, sell at 95. And so if you never traded in your entire life, and this was the first trade you ever did with our room on your first day, and you took 25 shares at 90 and you sold at 95, you made 125 bucks. On 25 shares, that's really, let's see, $2,000 in buying power, which is about $400 in a cash account. And that was the call. There was nothing to talk about. Just go long. I actually put 96, believe it or not. So I don't know. I thought 95, but I guess I wrote down 96. So let's take a look. Let's see. Here's the 90, and it went to 95.72. So I missed it in writing by about 27 cents. So I apologize. It's Monday, and normally the traders in the room will give me a little breather for being off 20 cents on a 5-point trade. So, bottom line is long it, long it, long it, long it, long it. There's no short. There is not one iota that said to short this stock. You cannot short Hasbro. So for you listening to this video for the first time and you're asking, how the heck do you know that? Hey, I've been doing this for 15 years. And I don't need lines. I don't need VWAPs. I don't need EMAs or 5 minutes. I just look at the chart and I will tell you exactly where it's going to go. I didn't call the chart to go full gap to 98. I didn't say it would go to 100. I did not say the stock would fall and collapse to $80. I said simply go long at 90 and take it to 96. I can't get any more clear and crisp on a call. It's up to you to take the call. The only thing that we do not do in this chat room is press your buttons. We cannot do that for you. We're live. We're over the shoulder. We're transparent. We tell you where to buy, where to sell. It's up to you to click. If you don't click and you just stare at it, then you can't blame anybody but yourself. We work hard to gain your trust and your confidence in what we do in here. And we do this every day. And so I just want to stress that to you. Next trade that came on my radar was a stock called MRTX. I think you're going to love this trade. You'd probably be like mind-boggled by it. MRTX was a phase 1 miss. Now, a lot of traders don't know how to trade phase 1, but in Awesomecalls trading, it is part of the game. So I want to show you MRTX, and then I want to show you the call. All right. MRTX got hurt on phase 1 data. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to know. It got hurt on phase 1. So it's a $40 stock. It was 47 on Friday. It came down to 41 and then just plummeted to 25. Well, I read the report. I saw the phase 1, and I said right then and there, I'm going to go long the stock at around $26 a share. And I predicted the stock would probably hit 32 or above. It would not fill the full gap, so that was out of the question. But there was a little thing I saw this morning, just a little thing I saw. It was right here, right there. And once I saw that, I knew I could get 32, but I thought, I'm going to be conservative and say 32. But once the trade started to develop, I could see 34, which is this target here. I did not see 35. I saw 34. And I felt very strongly. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me why. It's what I felt. I've seen this before. I've seen these setups before. And to be honest with you, this is all I saw in the morning when I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning. You can look at the timeline right here. 4 o'clock, 4:30, 4:47. This is all I saw. And based off of this, I made a decision. I'm a buyer at 25. The stock's sitting at 28 at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm a buyer at 25, 26, and I think the stock will go to 32 to 34. Now let's look at the chart. Here we go. $26. Right there's your buy. And here's 32. The stock went to 34. So you literally, for 250 shares, could have landed 6 points on this trade, or what is that, $1,500 on your first trade in the room with 250 shares. If you trusted the process. Really, really, really a nice trade. Really impressed with this trade. So, And let's do one more for all of you. And I think you'll like this trade too. PII. This is a really nice play here. A lot of people didn't see it because it was item number 14 on the list. And PII had really good earnings. Not what made this interesting was we had multiple things going on. We had a conference call coming up. The earnings, okay, I'm going to teach you a little trick. I usually just show the room this, but I think it's important. I'm going to show you something I picked up on Scan this morning, and you're all going to sit here and go, whoa. You see, I am a news guy. I'm all about reports, news. I'm all about the why behind the move. I can't stress that enough. It's always the why. I want to know why I'm going to make this trade. I'm going to see if I can find it in this. I found it in briefing, but I can't show you briefing because we just don't do. I can't do. I can show you newsware, but I'm trying to find it. Let me see if it says it here. There's a word that I want to share with you. I'm going to see if I can find it. Well, it doesn't say it here. I'm going to do a couple more and see if I can find it. Okay. Just give me a second. Give me a second. Come on. There was a word. I saw in briefing. It took me 2 seconds. Oh, there it is. There it is. Are you ready? Here's the report. This is what I saw in briefing when I was doing my thing. Okay. So this is going to just sit back and just take a deep breath because I'm going to teach you something. All right? Because a lot of you out there don't trade earnings. You either are part of a club, or you play 5-cent stocks, or you catch a 10-cent move, and you're all excited. But in here, hey, this is what we do. Well, we got a stock right here. Basically, if you look at it, is gapping up. Right, you're gapping up to 94, very thin. So the first question is, why are you gapping up? Then you got a conference call coming, which typically in Awesome Calls trading, we're all about pulling the stock and into the call. And then once the call begins, we go long the stock. But the reason why, and I want you to look at my notes very carefully. I really want you to look at these. PII was, in my opinion, a pop and fade back to 90 and under, and then go long. And the reason is, and you can see the stock right here, in my opinion, will pop and fade to 92 and under. I'm not impressive to justify the move until the conference call. So I want you to see the word that I saw. And here it is. It's in the first sentence of this entire report. Right there. It's called reiterates. Whenever a company reiterates to their investors the same information, okay, that the outlook's the same that they gave before, it doesn't justify a huge pop until now. When the conference call comes, it's totally different because they can say other things doing it. But initially, my first reaction when I see that word, I immediately want to short the stock. And so I put out the call to short the stock at the open, and it ended up yanking way below, and it sold right into the call. So if you had taken this 94 short, like I suggested, instead of 92, by the time the bell rang, it wouldn't have mattered if you covered at 92 because it collapsed to 86. You literally could have made 8 points. And let's time it out. See the time? Look at the time. You wouldn't have had time to cover 92 because the minute the bell rang, because I told you to short here in pre-market 94, right there and here, once the bell rang, it shot to 86. Literally, you could have, and look at that, 2-minute trade. So in 2 minutes and 30 seconds on this trade, you could have smashed 6 points. On 100 shares, 8,000 buying power, $600. So I was just looking for 2 to 3 points to the downside. Conference call comes, go long, stock made a run back to 97. All because of that word. So, and lastly, we had two stocks for you small cap traders in here, small cap short sellers. We had Nete moving on some really crap news. It was kind of crap, but in the morning it was like the big play, and CLGN had good news as well. But they already had made their moves in pre-market. They thinned out, and once it broke the flag right around here, the short was right around the 850 to 9 area, and just collapsed. And this one too at Nete. We were all eyeing the Nete at 1050 with volume. If it didn't come, we were pretty much short the idea back down and fill the gap. But in pre-market, I was telling traders, it's a former runner, has room to move. News will probably push it, and pre-market it did. So a lot of traders did pretty good from 7 to 12 on it. But for the most part, once it hit past 10, I was pretty much a short seller to hard on the stock. And same here with CLGN. You have to have volume behind these, and I really go over these very clear. I can pinpoint the buyer, who's buying, why they're buying, what they're looking for, and I just didn't get it. Every time I kept looking at it when people were saying it was spiking, I just couldn't see the buyer coming in, and it wasn't enough to justify the move. So that's why the stock collapsed. Other than that, those are today's plays. These are about a dozen I shared with you. And tomorrow we will do it all over again. We're also trading DVAC. We're trading Roku. We've traded CUTRP. These are other trades that you didn't even see. But for the most part, I just wanted to share with you these ideas. So thank you very much for joining us. I hope to see you in the chat room tomorrow. And we'll also download this to YouTube. Thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow. And remember, traders, when you do sign up and give us a shot, we prefer you to come in for a month, practice trade for a week, and maybe a week or two. By your third week, you should be able to trade. Just get right in it, start making money. But you need to learn exactly what we're doing and why. Always have to need to know why. If you sign up for a day or a week and you decide to take us for a month, we will give you back that money and make sure that you're well taken care of. Okay? And that is all. Thank you. See you tomorrow.